Hey guys, welcome back to the Zilinski life. I wanted to do a video today on how to create your debt repayment plan. So I'm going to be using two different tools today. I'm going to be using YNAB, which is You Need a Budget, and I'm going to be using a debt payoff planner. I will link both of these in the description down below. You don't need to use these tools. The principles will be the same. This is just a method that I'm using. But I'm going to kind of walk you through how I would create a debt payoff plan, more specifically how we created our debt payoff plan, or debt repayment plan, debt snowball, whatever you want to consider it. Okay, so first things first, we're going to go into YNAB. Now, if you've got YNAB, you might notice that yours looks a little bit different. I have YNAB currently open up in Chrome, and I have an extension, a toolkit extension for it that makes mine look just a little bit different, but it still functions the exact same way, either way. So if you're wondering why it looks a little different, that's why. But the first thing you would do is you would create your budget. You're going to go through and list down all of your expenses. So we have all of our regular bill payments, so rent, our insurance, our internet, our power, our cell phones. Then we have our food, our gas, fun money stuff. All of our subscriptions are in here. And you can kind of categorize this however you want, whatever makes sense for you, however you want to break it up. Some people will do it on like needs, wants, and sinking funds. Some people will do, bills or immediate obligations, and then sinking funds and like fun money. Some people will do like a 50-30-20, and I'll actually do a video on that where 50% of your income should be going to your necessities, 30% would go to your wants and your fun money, and then 20% would go to your savings, retirement, investments, or debt repayment, kind of anything in that category. But I'm not going to do like a whole create a budget from scratch kind of thing. If you guys want to see a video on how to actually create a budget, I can do one for you, but I'm going to go through and kind of show you how we figured out what our debt repayment was going to look like. So I'm going to go forward a month in YNAB because I currently don't have any money allocated here. So YNAB's really handy in the sense that if I select all of my categories, it'll tell me I'm underfunded by $5,200. So what I've done in YNAB is every category has a goal. So like our debt snowball, we have a goal of $300 a month. Our OPD, which is our consolidation, our debt consolidation, credit counseling, whatever you want to call it, we have to pay $700 a month. Our car is $500 a month, so on and so forth. So I've gone through pretty much everything in here has a category. You can also see that here in these columns. Again, this is a tool kit that I have installed. Yours won't show that, but it would show it over here. Like if I were to click on something, it'll tell me that I've got a budget in there. And again, if you guys want to see how to set up a budget in YNAB and create goals and stuff, I can do a video on that. That's not what this particular video is about. And you could do the same thing in an Excel spreadsheet or just on a piece of paper. You're just going to write down all of your bills and how much they cost you every single month. So we know that it's $5,200 a month to pay all of our bills, including all of our sinking funds and stuff like that. Now, I'm not going to necessarily include everything in here for my debt snowball because we don't necessarily need to be paying for everything. Like, actually, I think I've adjusted it, and dining out's still pretty high. It's $300 for dining out, $120 each a month for spending money. So, no, you know what? Actually, for the sake of this video, I will do it like this. Okay, so you wouldn't have your debt snowball in here yet, so we're going to take that off. So my monthly bills are $4,900 a month, and we take home about $5,500 to $6,000 a month, somewhere in and around there. Some months it's higher, some months it's a lot lower. Right now it's obviously a lot lower because CODY'S not working because of COVID-19, but we average about $5,500 to $6,000. So that means we have about $500 to $600 a month left over. We'll say if we're going off of the $5,500 a month mark. So the next thing we want to do, we know we have $500 or $600 a month to play with. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into our debt payment planner, and we're going to add in everything that we owe, the interest rates, what our regular payments are. And again, you could just do this with a calculator and a piece of paper. I just like using this program because it gives me a lot of information quite easily. I'm just going to take this out as well. Okay, so I already have some stuff in here, but I took the car out just so that I could add it in to show you guys how it's done. So when you're adding in a debt, you're going to go up here to debts. You're going to click the add button, You can name it. So we're going to put in here, this is our car payment. Our starting balance is $25,635.01. Our minimum payment is $501.75, and our interest rate, if you watched our last video, is very high. It's 15.5%. Now, we don't plan on having this loan for longer than 2 years at the very longest, but it is a very high interest rate. So our payment due date is the 16th of every month. I'm not going to bother with a reminder, and it's an auto loan. If you had a promotional APR, like if you had 0% interest for the first 6 months, or let's say it was a credit card and you had a low interest rate of like 9% for the first 12 months or whatever, you could put that in here. But that's all we need for here. So we're going to go ahead and click save. So now you'll notice that down here under the strategy, it'll say our monthly payments are $1,202. That's what our minimum payments are every month, $1,202. So our current balance is $42,000. Our starting balance is $51,000. Again, mine looks different because we've already paid down a bunch of debt, but if you're just starting this, then your starting and current would look the same. It'll tell me what my monthly payment is, when it estimates me to be debt-free, which if we only make our minimum payments in a debt snowball, would be 3 years and 9 months. And we don't want to be in debt that long. So if you've done your budget and you have money left over in your budget, like $500, $600, $1,000, maybe it's only $100, whatever it is, you want to try and put as much towards your debt snowball as you can. And I'll put that in here in a second. The other thing I like about this is that it breaks down, what your payment is. So we see here that our first goal is our OPD, because that's the one that we owe less on. We owe $16,000. And you can rearrange these if you want to pay them off in different orders, if you want to go by higher interest. We're kind of following the Dave Ramsey, where it's the lowest balance to highest balance. But you can do what you want. So here it's saying we have our OPD, which is $700 plus our minimum payment for the car of $500. So it's a total of $1,202. Estimating that our OPD gets paid off in 2 years and 1 month as of June 2022. And then we're going to focus on the car. So now you'll notice the car, instead of being $501 a month, it's going to be $1,202. And that's because the way a debt snowball works is once the credit counseling has been paid off, that's $700, we're not going to just stop using that $700 a month. We're just going to roll it into our car payment now, and we're going to tackle that car payment as quick as we can. So then it's telling us that our car would then be paid off February of 2024. Now I want to try and accelerate it. So I'm going to come back up here to my strategy, and it's going to say monthly payment, and it'll put in whatever your minimum payments were plus, and then you can add in whatever you want. So I know we have about $500 or $600 a month at least to play with. So I'm going to put in $600 a month is what I want. Now you'll notice that this changes. So before it said just over 3 years, now it says we have 2 years and 4 months to be debt-free. So again, our OPD, it's going to be $1,300 now. And again, it's getting that number because we're doing the $700 minimum payment plus our $600 snowball. So $1,300 to our credit counseling, $500 to the car, for total monthly payments of $1,800. I know, it's a lot of money every month. That's why we don't want to be in debt. That's $1,800 a month that we could be investing or saving for retirement or putting towards a down payment on a house or saving for our kids' college tuition. There's so many things that $1,800 a month could do. That's a lot of money. So it gives us an incentive to want to pay things off sooner. So here, again, it's readjusting itself, saying that the OPD, or the credit counseling program, will be finished in 1 year and 1 month on June 21st, and then the car would be paid off on September 22nd. You can also add in one-time snowflake payments. So like, let's say you get a bonus at the end of every year, and that bonus is like maybe 10 grand, we'll say, and you want to put the whole 10 grand towards your debt repayment, you can put that in here. If you get tax returns and you're going to get a big tax return, you can put that in here. Anything like that. Now I'm going to do ours based on our tax return. We always have CODY'S companies pull off whatever the basic personal amounts are, but he always makes so much money, and then we always wind up getting so much back. We're averaging more than $10,000 back every single year. So I'm going to put in a snowflake payment of $7,500. We'll say that's pretty conservative for us. We will likely get back quite a bit more than that, but just to be on the safe side. And we typically get our money sometime in March. So I'm going to say that March, we're going to make a snowflake payment of $7,500. This again will change. So now it's saying we'll be debt free in 1 year and 11 months. So that's less than 2 years now. Same thing, our payments here so far stay the same. It's at, $700 plus our $600 snowflake or snowball payment, sorry. So the total $1,800 a month between our snowball payment and our minimum payments. And then we've got here, it's saying that our OPD will be paid off in March. And if we look at that, we can see here, debt consolidation, $5,100. So we would make 9 payments of our regular payments, and then come March, when we get that tax return, we would be putting the remaining $5,000 onto the credit consolidation loan, because that's what we would have left owing at that point in time, and then $4,000 on the car. Again, all this is doing is looking at our minimum payments, our debt snowball, and then in this case, the one-time snowflake payment that we would have. And it's telling us this is where your money is going to be applied, and this is when it's going to get paid off. So in 10 months, our credit counseling program would be cleared. We would put a big chunk onto the car, and then the car we would continue to pay for another year, and then be debt-free April of 2022. And you can adjust this at any time. And same thing if you're doing it on a piece of paper, if you're doing it in YNAB, you can make these adjustments at any time. But it's a good way to have a plan. So I'm going to go in here and actually adjust our debt snowball to $600 a month, because that's what we have available in our budget. And then you'll see here, monthly payments, underfunded, $5,506. And again, we make $5,500 to $6,000, sometimes more, sometimes less, but it's safe to assume $5,500. Again, if we want to prioritize our debt repayment, we would just forego things like, dining out and our spending money, right? And then even with that snowball payment, we would still have an extra $500 to play with. So maybe we decide to get really intentional. I say, you know what, let's do another $500 on top of that. So that's $1,100 total. Now what does that do? Well, now we're debt free in a year and 5 months. So we've shaved off another, 6 months? So again, you can play around with your numbers and figure out what you're comfortable with, what you want to do. Maybe you really want to, like the Dave Ramsey says, be on fire, scorched earth, gazelle intensity, beans and rice and beans, right? Like if we were to do that, we could probably put a lot more towards this, like, $1,500 a month, let's say. I'd actually have to look at the numbers, but I'm guessing $1,500, maybe more. It would be a year and 3 months before we're debt free. Now we don't want to rein it in that much. We are kind of selfish and we like our lifestyle, so we're doing $600. So it'll be a year and 11 months. But again, these things could change. Cody could make more money. Cody could make less money. Cody could wind up never going back to work at this point in time. We don't know. But either way, I think it's very important that if you're in debt, you're making a plan. Please, for the love of God, don't make only your minimum payments, especially on things like credit cards, overdrafts, anything that's a really high interest rate that's just going to kill you. If you're in a position where you can't make any more than your minimum payments, look for a side hustle. Try to find stuff to sell. Pick up a part-time job. Lower your expenses. Try to move somewhere cheaper. Try to figure out ways to cook at home more. Whatever you can do, because debt is going to kill you. Debt's going to kill you. It's stressful. For anybody out there who's in debt, which is most of us, we understand how stressful it is. It's not a pleasant experience. So this is just one of the ways to create a debt repayment plan. Again, I'll have this website linked down below. They also have an iPhone app and I think an iPad app as well. And I would imagine that they're probably available on Android as well. But yes, this has been my quick video on how to make a debt repayment plan, because this is important. This is an important life skill. Staying out of debt, getting out of debt if you're already in debt, and learning to budget. That should be the first one. You should learn to budget. I don't care if you're 12 years old or 82 years old. You should know how to make a budget and stick to it. And nobody's perfect. If you've watched our videos, we're not perfect. We mess it up every month. There's always something we go over budget on. That's okay. It's not about perfection. It's about getting control of your money, knowing where your money goes, and trying your best to prepare for the unexpected. So anyways, I don't want to ramble on this video anymore. Thank you guys for being here with me. I hope you found this video useful, and I will chat with you in the next one. Bye.